Morning. Uh, Bit of a, well, I won't say random. I've got a rough idea of the topic I want to touch on, but it's one of those where it's sort of a bit out of left field. Um, I lack body confidence. That's blindingly obvious. I've spent a minimum of like 20 years of my working career in uniform, in one form or another for, not like, man in uniform, no, not like that. Just like work uniform for various companies that I've worked with, and as a result, I don't find that I know how to dress well, or I don't know what looks good, and it boils down to I don't feel sexy. I see all these other trans folk that on various social medias, and I feel really good and really confident, and I'm just sitting there going, no, that's not me. And I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this funk, to be honest, because there's not a lot transition wise that I can do extra. A lot of it is just waiting, especially for this. I've said before, I've just got to wait for that to grow now. But I don't know how to feel sexy, if that makes any sense. Not aroused, but just feeling like I look good and emanating confidence. I don't have any body confidence, and it got me thinking about it. To be fair, so it's like, yeah. I mean, it's weird. I'm not talking about feeling horny or aroused or anything like that. It's just normally depending on what I'm wearing, I usually feel stupid or embarrassed or shame. Shame is a big thing. Um, you know, and this is why I still present male on the day-to-day, is because of the overarching shame that I feel. Again, growing up as I did through the 80s and 90s, any sort of gender incongruence was punished. To the point where, Section 28 and stuff like that, we just didn't learn about it in school. So I'm having to unlearn everything that I learned growing up. For me, the internet wasn't really a thing until basically until I was in my late 20s, early 30s. By which point I was drinking fairly heavily and it didn't really occur to me. But now it's like, right, I'm learning more and I've got the words kind of to use for who I am and how I feel. How do I deal with that? I do have body dysmorphia. I'll put my hand up on that one. I constantly believe that I look like a potato. And I think it's because I've been single now for pushing 6 or 7 years. I've had longer dry spells, if you will. I think in my 20s, at my peak of drinking, I think I went something like 11 years. But yeah, it's just coming to terms with who I am now and the ideal in my head that I have of how I should look, and then I don't. And I'm taking steps, yes, but it just, some days it feels like it's a bit late. So it's one of those. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's too late for me. I know it's not. You go onto social media and there are hundreds of people saying it's never too late to be who you are, and it's never the wrong age to do it, and so on and so forth. So I know that it's not, but there are just some days where I just feel like, nah. Which is slightly frustrating. It doesn't help with this time of the year where it's grey and mardy and the festive season is upon us, and I've never really been a fan of the festive season, but a little bit of seasonal depression, why not? But yeah, it's the idea of feeling sexy. How does one do that? I mean, again, there's a lot of internalized shame and self-hatred, to be fair, but I'm working on that. But then my hand is shaking something fierce. The idea of feeling good about how I look, even, take the feelings out of the equation. Even dressing to look good, knowing that what I'm wearing makes me look good, I can't quite grasp that. Yeah, so I either do things for practicality or comfort, or in the case of the neon pink suit I have for our charity days, it's more about the shock factor. It's like, oh my god, that suit is blinding me. It doesn't make me feel particularly good wearing it. It's more, showing off. Introverted extrovert, stuff like that. It's a weird way of doing things. It's like I'm very, very uncomfortable public speaking, but making a video like this and putting it for the world to see on YouTube, that makes no sense. But yeah, keeps coming back to this idea of feeling sexy. And again, I don't mean aroused or horny. I mean just the idea of feeling good about what I'm wearing and feeling empowered to a degree. Yeah, it's the words. It's like, how can you feel sexy without being aroused? Well, it's quite. It is a manageable thing, and people do it all the time. But I can't quite separate the seatbelt. I can't quite separate the two. I want to feel good about who I am and how I present and what I wear and stuff. But I can't at the moment. It's odd. It's very weird. But yeah. Yeah, and this is just a lot of noise. But I say that all the time anyway. It's all, as I've said previously, it is mostly stream of conscience. So I come in with a rough nugget of an idea, and then I just run with it and fill 10 minutes. Yeah, so, and I'm not talking about being like full femme or overly flamboyant. I'm just talking about, feeling good about myself and the clothes that I'm wearing reflecting that. It's, yeah. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. Subscribe if you like the vlogs. Obviously the other channel, Gravy_Bunny, for various builds. I've had to take a brief respite from the RTV because my fingers were falling apart. It's weird that when you use solvents and you don't wear gloves, your hands don't like it. But yeah, so yeah. I think that'll do. I feel I've taken enough of your time today. Right, take care. Speak soon.